Hello everyone, this is the Pig Mafia, and in this video, I am going to be discussing games to potentially platinum in the future. First, we are going to look through all of my physical games, starting with all the steelbooks I have. So first up we have is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for the PS3. Now, this steelbook is not in the best condition. I honestly don't know how I got it. I don't know what the platinum requirements for this game is. I believe there is some online stuff, I would assume. Isn't there like Spec Ops or something like that? I remember there's like some very difficult stuff with that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go after this one or not. I might potentially in the future. I just would have to find a partner to do it with, but this isn't an instant no for me. It's a possibility. So next up we have is Yakuza Kiwami 2. Now this is a franchise that I would like to play through all of them and get the platinum for. It's just these games take so many hours to do. Like I believe like the first like 5 games, they can easily be like 100 hours. And I haven't even platinumed 0 yet. So that is one I have to potentially go after. But after that, it would be Yakuza Kiwami and this one. So this one is definitely one of the games I will be doing in the future. It just depends when I get around to finishing 0 in Kiwami. It's just those games has like a lot of requirements, especially for like the 100% completion trophy. This is definitely a play in the future. So the next game we have is Borderlands 3. Now I did play through Borderlands 1 and 2, and I got the platinum and the 100% for it. Those games take quite a bit of dedication, not gonna lie. And I believe there's another one before Borderlands 3, which I think is called the pre-sequel. I have not done that one yet. I might potentially go do that one first. I'm just not too sure about that. I've heard mixed things about pre-sequel, but this is probably one of the ones I might get to in the future. I'm just not sure if I should do pre-sequel before getting into Borderlands 3. I've heard that the gameplay for this one is actually really good. The story, not so much, but we will see. This is definitely ones I might potentially want to check out. So the next one we have is Dying Light 2. Now, I did play the first Dying Light, and it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed that one a lot. Gameplay was good. The story was actually pretty good. This one, though, I've heard mixed things about. A lot of it is people don't really like it all that much. Not too sure why. I know there's like some online stuff like the first one, like co-op and stuff like that. I think it's a little bit different. I think you have to do like missions. Was it like 100? Was that 100 missions? I actually don't know. I could just be getting it completely wrong, but I know the co-op trophy is different from the first one. But I believe this had some like collectibles that are like missable or buggy, especially at launch. I don't know if it's fixed yet, but this is a game I might potentially want to get to. It's just I'm not sure when because of all the things I've heard about this game. But we will see. So the next game we have is Battlefield 5. Now, I have not played any of the Battlefield games. I do not know what they are like. All I know is like it's just like a multiplayer PvP like war game where you're on a battlefield and yeah, you basically just take each other out, basically. That's all I know about it. And I think there's like also optional objectives, like different modes and stuff. I don't know. I'm not too sure if this is one of the ones I'm actually gonna go after, especially with this one, because I heard that this one is not as good as some of the older ones, like Battlefield 1 or 3. What are the other ones? Hardline. I heard that this one and 2020, 2040 something, like 2042. I don't know which one that is, but that's the one I heard is the worst one. But I'm not too sure if the Battlefield series is something I'm going to go after yet. We will see how I feel about it. So the next game we have is Far Cry 6. Now, I have played the majority of the Far Cry games. They are usually really good. I played through 3, 4, New Dawn, and Far Cry 5. I haven't played Primal yet, but this is one I'm definitely going to be playing through at some point. It's just I'm going to be taking a break from Far Cry because I have played quite a bit of Far Cry recently in the past few months, but I heard a lot of not good things about this game. Especially the story. I think might particularly the ending. And the one thing I heard about the Platinum Trophy experience is there's like a weekly trophy or something like that, like a time-related trophy, and I just like, I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm really hating time-related stuff in games. But this is definitely one of the games I'm going to be going after for sure. So the last game we have is Everspace 2. Now, I honestly have no idea what this game even is. All I know is that it looks like it's in space. Like, what kind of game is it? Explore star systems filled with alien life forms and ancient secrets. Level up to unlock new perks. Honestly, it doesn't really say much. I don't know if it has a story. I mean, I assume it does, but by the looks of it, it's just like shooting down other ships. So I'm not too sure what kind of game this really is, or even the Platinum Trophy experience. I don't even know if people even heard of this game. But I am definitely interested about this game. Let me just take it out of the box here so I can show you what the steelbook actually looks like. It does look quite interesting. But yeah, I am not too sure if this is one of the ones I'm going to be going after quite soon, but it does look interesting, and I'm kind of curious about it. That is all the steelbook games I have. Now I'm going to be going over the rest of my physical games. With the first one being Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Now, I have played Shadow of War a little bit. I didn't really get too far into it, but the thing with that is I feel like I want to play through and platinum and 100% this one first before going back to Shadow of War. I feel like that's the right thing to do. So I might potentially do that, but from what I've experienced with Shadow of War, I'm guessing the experience is the same between two games. The combat is actually not that bad. It's actually really fun. I don't know much about the story. I mean, especially for this one, I don't know nothing about it, besides maybe the combat being similar. But this is definitely a game that I want to play at some point. And then I will play Shadow of War after this at some point. So the next game is Metal Gear Rising. Now, I know that this is a difficult game. I'm not entirely sure why, but I believe this is a 10 out of 10 game. This looks like a very fun game. Like, I've seen a bit of the combat. It looks relatively fun. The only reason I would consider doing it is because of an idea I have of a challenge I want to potentially do, and that is to platinum and 100% every game that Astrobot has a cameo of, and this is one of them. Now, I have a lot of games in that challenge. I'm not too sure exactly, but there is a lot. And some of them, like this one, are pretty difficult. So we will see if I will go through with that idea. I just know that there's going to be some games that are rough. So the next game I have is Infamous 2. Now, I know you can't really see it clearly because of the sticker, but this is Infamous 2. This is one I definitely want to get to at some point because I do want to do all of the Infamous games. I've only done Second Son, so I do want to do First Light probably first before I do the PS3 ones, Infamous 1 and 2. I don't know much about this game, but I've heard pretty good things about the old ones and that they're pretty good, and I'm kind of interested. So the next game we have, it's actually a collection of 3 games in one disc, and that is Lego Marvel. It's Lego Marvel Superheroes, Marvel Avengers, and Marvel Superheroes 2. Now, this is one that I'm definitely going to be playing because I do want to play through the majority of the Lego games. I have mentioned this before in an older video that the exceptions of that is Lego Rock Band and Lego Dimensions, because Lego Rock Band, I think you need equipment for that, and I think you might need some like people in real life to play that game with, and I definitely don't have that. And Lego Dimensions, you need all of the equipment for that as well. You need the base platform thing, whatever it is, and the minifigures on the small discs and whatnot. And I bet at this point all that stuff is going to be quite expensive, and that is not the money I have. So, with that said, I am definitely going to be doing all 3 of these games at some point. It's just I have a lot more Lego games to go through, and I'm just not too sure when I'm going to get through the Lego Marvel franchise. So up next is another Lego game. We have Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This is one I definitely want to play, but I want it to be like one of the last Lego games to do to finish off all of the Lego games. So this one is going to be a while to get to because I have a lot of Lego games to go through, like I said. I believe this is a 100-hour grind. Is it 100 or 200 hours? I'm not too sure. It's one of those. But it's a long one. And it's definitely one I am going to do. So up next, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Now, I know that this game is not only pretty grindy with, I believe, the level 100 grind, but it's also pretty challenging with the get theirs. I'm not too sure what that means. I think it's like very hard gaps, or like series of gaps or tricks you have to do. It's something like that, but this is not an easy game. Now, I was tempted to do it, and I'm still thinking about it, and I might potentially still do it some point in the future, but I'm just not too sure when that is. At this point in time, I'm just not too confident with very difficult games. The only one I've done is Black Ops 4 and Back for Blood. But honestly, I don't remember very difficult things about the base game for that, but the DLC for Back for Blood is crazy difficult. But other than that, I haven't done anything crazy, like above a 7 out of 10. Unless you want to count Payday 2 as well. I've done that as well, but that's fairly a grind, but we're getting sidetracked. This is definitely one of the games I might potentially do in the future. I just got to get more comfortable with doing wicked hard games. And hopefully finishing some of the ones that's in my backlog already might give me a bit more confidence to seek out more difficult games. But yeah, we will just have to see. So the next game we have is Elden Ring. Now, this game I've gone and played quite a bit of. I think I got to the 3rd area. But Souls games is a thing where I just don't really feel too comfortable with, especially trying to do it on my own. For whatever reason, I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable playing through Souls games solo for some reason. I always prefer to do it with at least somebody, but I fairly enjoyed it from what I played. It was pretty fun. It's just Souls games is just not in my comfort zone at the moment. I would like to try and see if I can change that, because there is some other Souls games I would like to play, especially part of my Astrobot challenge, which would be Bloodborne, Demon Souls. I believe there's another one in there, but I'm not fairly certain, but I know those two are part of that Astrobot challenge I talked about earlier. But this is part of my backlog. I will probably get to it at some point, but we will just have to see when that is. It's going to be some point this year, because this year is part of my backlog year. For those of you who don't know, I am playing majority of the games in my backlog to finish them out, and we have been doing good. We have been doing good so far. And if you would like to know more about my completion of the backlog, you can follow me on Twitch to see me tackle my backlog, if that is something you're interested in. But the next game we have is Assassin's Creed Unity. Now, I have done the majority of the online for this, especially the ones that actually require either another person, or I think it's like a group of 4? Is it 4? I'm not sure. But I know it's at least one other person. There is some technically online stuff I still need to do, but apparently that can also be done solo. So it's not anything too crazy to wrap up. But this is definitely one I would like to get to soon, just in case. Just to get it done and get at least the rest of the online done. So this could definitely be one of the ones I would like to get to at some point. My only issue with that is I don't know if I want to play the games prior to it, like Brotherhood and Revelations leading up to it. I'm probably not, because there is a lot of games in between. So this might be one of the games I will play soon to clean up. So the next game we have is another Assassin's Creed. It is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, this is one of the ones I have not played, and I would like to play this one at some point. I actually heard pretty good things about it. I heard it's a pretty good game. But yeah, that's it. I don't know much about this game, actually. I do want to play through all of the Assassin's Creeds though, and platinum at least one stack of every single one. So I will definitely play through this at some point. So this next game, I'm just going to cover it very quickly because I only have one thing for it, and that is Grand Theft Auto 5. I love this game. I put so many hours into it. I've got the platinum for it, and I'm very close to being done with the 100%. The only thing I need is the last Doomsday playthrough, which is the 2-player one. And I am actually going to be getting that done soon. So this will be a nice game to clean up and actually get the 100% for. But yeah, really good game. I have sunk so many hours into it just casually with online. So yeah, really good game. So the next game we have is another Assassin's Creed. It is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, for this one, I've heard a lot of things about. First of all, it is not a good Assassin's Creed game from what I heard a lot of people from. And that it's also pretty grindy. Like, I am pretty sure the base game is at least 100 hours. That doesn't even include all of the DLC that it has. It's a long game. And apparently, from what I heard, it's not a good game either. But I am still going to play it because I want to play through all the Assassin's Creeds. And that is going to be quite a journey. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a play in the future. Probably not anytime soon because I do want to play through all of them in order. And I've only done Assassin's Creed 2, so I still have a long ways to go. The only exceptions of the ones that I'm not going to do in order is Unity and Black Flag. So the next game we have is Final Fantasy Rebirth. Now, I did play a little bit of this, not too much. I didn't really get that far into it, but this is definitely one of the games that I want to play through and get the platinum for. But the thing is now is I want to play through in Platinum Crisis Core. I feel like I should do that first before going back to Rebirth. So that is more than likely what I'm going to do. So I am going to go back to this. I am just not sure when because I got to get Crisis Core first. So the next game we have is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now, I don't know anything about this game besides it's a side-scroller. And honestly, I'm not too sure if this game's any good or not. I actually don't know much about it. I haven't played any of the Prince of Persias, and by the looks of it, this is probably one of the ones to not play first. You guys gonna have to let me know if this is a good game and if I should play it first. I mean, I'm guessing not, but maybe it doesn't matter. But I'm definitely interested in this and actually quite curious. So this could be a potential play in the future. So next up we have is Dead Island 2. Now I believe this is a zombie game, and I actually quite enjoy these games. I have played a few of these games before. Back 4 Blood, Zombie Army. So I do enjoy my zombie games, and I'm actually quite interested in Dead Island 2. So this is definitely going to be a game I'm going to play in the future. And I believe the Platinum Trophy is actually not that bad. It does have some DLC, so I'm going to have to get the DLC as well, but this is one I'm actually very interested in playing. So the next game we have is Final Fantasy 16. Now, this game did look really good from what I've seen. The combat looked really fun, and I believe the story is actually pretty good too, by the looks of it. And I believe this also has some DLC as well. I'm not too sure what the DLC is like, but this is definitely a game that I want to play at some point in the future. So the next game we have is Skull and Bones. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed things about this game, with it being a quadruple A game. Ooh, the next big thing. But with all that being said, this is one that I'm actually going to be playing. The main reason is because I think you can play this in co-op, and there is a person I'm going to be playing this with when they get around to it. So when they get around to it, I am going to be starting this and play with them. So yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the games I will play through. So the next game we have is Need for Speed Heat. Now, I have done 2 Need for Speed games so far, one being actually pretty good and one of them not so much. That being Rivals, being the one that's not good, and Payback being actually pretty good. It's not as bad as some people are making it out to be. I actually enjoyed my time with it, but after playing Payback, I got a bit more curious into doing some more Need for Speed games. So this one is definitely one of the ones I do want to check out some point in the future. I'm just not too sure when. I am kind of a bit burnt out from racing games after Payback, because there is one thing I did not like about that game, and that is being the challenges, having to 3-star all of them. Some of those challenges were... they were something. But yeah, Heat is definitely one of the ones I want to play through, and even some of the other Need for Speed games as well. So the next game we have is Forspoken. Now, this game, I don't know how to describe it. I've heard that this game is actually not that great. The only thing I heard about it is the main character is annoying, apparently. I am not too sure what this game is about. I am half interested in it, so it's a potential that I might play this. I'm not even too sure what kind of game it is. It does look open world. I mean, reading from what it's describing, diverse and open world with magic enhanced parkour, a journey in a beautiful and cruel land. Yeah, okay. Battle with a customizable arsenal of spells is what kind of interests me. So, yeah, this could be a potential play in the future. I'm actually curious about it. So the next game we have is The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I do want to play this game. I am actually very interested in playing it. After playing Part 1, I really enjoyed Part 1. The only thing is I've heard some mixed things about this game, especially with the story. And second is the DLC, especially with the permadeath. And for those of you who do not know, I do not mess with permadeath in games. It's just one of the things that I really do not like and just don't really feel comfortable with. So that has pushed me away from looking into this game more and checking it out. But it still could be a possibility once I feel a bit more comfortable with permadeath. There are some permadeath games in my backlog that if I feel comfortable after doing them, I might then potentially play this. But we will see. So the next game we have is Construction Simulator. Now, I don't know why I got this. My only reason is because of the Simulator September event I did on Twitch, which I was going to make a video on, but it just didn't end up happening. Which essentially the challenge was I platinumed 10 simulator games in 1 month, which I did end up doing with a lot of time left in the month, I believe. But yeah, I picked this up probably because I might want to do that again for September. But yeah, I don't know much about this game. Well, obviously you construct. But I believe this actually has online to it. And it has some online trophies to it, so that pushed me away a bit because I do not know a single person that actually has this game. So this one might potentially be a game that I might not play because it's just one of those things where I just don't have anybody to do the online with. So the next game we have is Persona 5 Strikers. Now, this is a game that I do want to check out at some point. Since I played through Persona 5 Royal, and I really enjoyed it. That game took me a bit to really get into. I want to say probably around maybe the halfway point, it started to get a bit more interesting, but I am interested in actually playing this. I believe it is a different game. Well, not a different game, but like the gameplay is different. I believe it's more of a hack and slash than turn-based, which Persona 5 Royal was. But it takes place in the same universe, so I'm actually pretty interested in playing this. So next up we have is Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. Now, I do not know what kind of game this is. It looks like your standard typical like military kind of game. I'm not entirely sure if I'm actually going to be playing this one. I might want to look more into it because I'm just not too sure what kind of game it is. But it is one of the ones I might potentially play. So the rest of the games are all PS3 physical games, and with the next one being The Sims 3. Now, I do enjoy this franchise a lot. I love Sims. This is one that I skipped over for some reason. At least the main game, I played like side games in this, like Sims 3 Pets, which I guess is basically the same game, but not the actual like base game itself. It's always like a side game. I do want to play through this at some point. I've heard things that it is pretty glitchy, and I think it can like crash, or like the game can crash when you're playing it on the PS3. For my love of the franchise, I am still gonna be playing this at some point. I'm just not too sure when that will be. I do have the Sims 3 Pets, which is the next game. Sims 3 Pets. This is the one I did play a little bit of, and honestly, it's kind of a bit underwhelming. I don't know how much of a difference it is compared to the actual Sims 3, but I don't know, it just felt off. Well, it didn't feel off, but like I just didn't like it as much. But it is one of the ones I do have to go back to and try and platinum it. I've heard that the majority of the trophies is buggy, and there's just a lot of issues to it, so it is going to be quite an interesting experience. And I'm just not too sure when that will be. It might be potentially soon. So the next game we have is kind of a random one that I have. I don't know how I got a hold of it, but it is a UFC game, UFC 2009 Undisputed. Now this game is more than likely gonna be one of the ones that I do not play. It's just because boxing is really not my thing. I believe there is online to this that is surprisingly still up, I think. After all these years, I just can't believe it that the online is still up for this game, but even then, I'm not too sure what the rest of the trophy list is like. Boxing is just one of the things that doesn't really interest me as much. And yeah, this game is probably one of the ones I'm not gonna play. So the next game we have is Dishonored. I don't know if the first game is on PS4, but I know that the second one is. I'm not too sure if that version is better than this one. I don't know if I should play... I'm guessing this is the OG. Play the OG on the PS3, or if I should play it on the PS4, but I'm actually not too sure what this game really is about. I believe it's like a stealth kind of game, I believe. But it does look interesting. I might potentially look more into it. So it might potentially be a game I will play. So the next game we have is Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. Is that how you say the name? Or Dogs? Yeah. Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. I've heard that this game is not that great. I've heard or seen that the camera is it's all over the place, honestly. But I believe this also has a lot of online from what I've seen last of it. If I remember correctly, I believe it has like 3 online modes, and that's just crazy. And I don't even know if the online is still up for this. Surprisingly, I believe it is. But again, same deal with what was it, Construction Simulator. I do not have anybody to do the online with, even if I'm even considering doing this. So yeah, this one is potentially one of the ones I will probably not be playing as well. So the next few games we have is some Call of Duty games on the PS3. And with this one being Call of Duty World at War. Now, I have been looking for this, and I finally picked it up. There is a possibility that I will be playing this. I definitely do want to play it. I know about the things about this game, with it being very difficult and the grenade spam. Looking forward to that. And I believe this also has some online. I will probably still be doing this game at some point. It's just, I would have to find somebody to boost the online with, at least. And I think this also has some DLC to it as well. I honestly am I'm not too sure, but this is definitely going to be a game I will play potentially in the future. Probably not anytime soon, but at some point. So next up we have is one that's in my backlog, Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Now, I really love this Black Ops game. This is one of the ones I grew up with, along with Black Ops 2, which I will cover more of that after. But yeah, this one, I got all the online done for the base game. I just have the rest of the campaign, like, related stuff to do and some miscellaneous stuff, but I still also have the DLC zombies to do, so this one would be a nice one to go back and clean up at some point, so I will be playing this. Potentially some point this year. And up next, obviously, is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Here is my thing with this one. I do enjoy it. I really enjoyed this game. I do not have all of the multiplayer done for it, especially the one that's unattainable. And with that said, I'm not too sure if I want to go back to this, because I am scared that if I do and try to clean up the rest of the stuff that I can get with like campaign and zombies, I am afraid that some hacker is gonna, pop all the trophies for me and flag me on PSNP. So this is more than likely gonna be one of the ones that least think about going back to. I have a whole bunch of other games to go back to or even play. So this is like towards the bottom of the barrel for even consider going back to and playing. So next up we have is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I will be going back to this at some point. I actually do have a group potentially to do this with. It just depends on when we're gonna do it. I will be going back to this at some point. So the next game we have is Mortal Kombat 9. Now, I played a good bit of this game. I played through the campaign, relatively enjoyed it, except for the final boss. If you know, you know. But I used to play a decent amount of this game. Unfortunately, I do not have all the online done, so I can't get the platinum. But I am still willing to go back and clean up some of the stuff I can at least get, which is like, it's mainly like tower stuff and maybe some optional miscellaneous stuff like fatalities and costumes, x-rays, stuff like that. So there is some stuff I can clean up for, so I might potentially go back and do that. But yeah, it's just unfortunately I cannot get the platinum for this. Now for the next game, it is a game that is actually part of my childhood because I played it back on the PS2, and it surprisingly has a PS3 version. That is Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. This game I actually really enjoyed playing through. I actually got the majority of the trophies. Unfortunately, this is another one that has some online to it. But from what I've been hearing, when the online was up, I think it was like broken or something. Not necessarily like broken, like down, but it was like weird connection issues or like just issues in general with like the online. With this game, I only have like a few things I could potentially clean up. It's not much. It's probably like a couple trophies, with one of them looking like it's gonna be a pain in the ass to do. So maybe at some point I might go back and do this, but it's one of the least things I am desired to probably go back to at some point. But it's a very good possibility that I might. So for the next game, we have Payday 2 on the PS3. Now, I have played and platted and 100%ed Payday 2 on the PS4. This one, I've actually played a decent amount of, and I'm actually fairly close to the platinum for this, so this is probably one of the ones I will go back to at some point, quite possibly soon-ish, and just get the platinum for it, because I'm like very close. But I really enjoy Payday 2, like quite a lot. I've sunk a lot of hours into it, so this will definitely be one of the ones I will go back to. So next we have is Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception for the PS3. Now, I actually relatively enjoyed this game. I mean, it was okay. It was alright. I didn't really like the middle portion of it. Felt like it was, I don't know, it's kind of dragged on. But this does have online. I don't have the online for the DLC done, but I do have the couple online trophies for the base game done. So this is one of the ones that I can still get the platinum for. And that actually really intrigues me to go back and get this platinum. I have played through this game again, but on the PS4 version with the annoying, brutal difficulty. If you know what that's like, you know. But this is definitely one of the ones I will go back to and actually get the platinum for. And I will probably leave it at that. By the looks of it on PSNP, through the extension that shows you which trophies are unobtainable, there is a couple obtainable DLC trophies. I'm not going to bother with those. I'm just going to go back and get the platinum and just leave it at that. So the next game that we have is Fallout 3. Ooh. Now, I have played through Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. And, I don't know. I will probably still play this, but after experiencing Fallout 76 for what it was, I'll just tell you right now, do not bother playing that game. It is not good. Especially the DLC, but I don't want to speak about the DLC. Now, the one thing about these old Fallout games, from what I've heard, is if your save file got too big, it can freeze and crash your game, which that is a thing that kind of pushed me away from doing these old Fallout games. I will probably just play through them anyway. I'll just have to keep that in mind. Maybe I might do like different save files during certain points in the game, because I know these games have like different endings and dialogue choices or some weird thing like that you have to do. I know Fallout 4 had that, so I'm guessing these games have it as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach it yet, but I do want to play through these old Fallout games. So it's definitely going to be a play at some point. It's just, I'm not too sure when. So next up we have is Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. It has no game cover. This is one of the games I have played before. I have played it on PC and I really enjoyed it. And I am definitely going to be replaying it on PlayStation to get the platinum. I am just not too sure when that will be. Next up we have another Lego game. We have Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. I will be playing this one as well at some point. So, yep, definitely going to be a play at some point as well. So next up we have is The Amazing Spider-Man. Another game that has no cover. Now, I have been looking for these old Spider-Man games since I really enjoyed the Marvel Spider-Mans with also with Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2. So these old Spider-Man games have interested me. I'm not too sure what the Platinum experience is like, but I might potentially still play the old Spider-Man games. This is the only one I have so far. I believe there is still quite a bit. I believe there's Amazing Spider-Man 2. Some of the like other ones. I think there's like Web of Shadows and Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time. Those games in particular will potentially be a play. I'm just not too sure when. So next we have is GTA 5 on the PS3. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the online done for this. I have gotten the majority of it done, but not all of it. There's like a couple trophies I'm missing, unfortunately. But there is still some of the single player I have not gotten the trophies for. So this will potentially be a game I will go back to at some point and clean up the rest of it that I can. I just not too sure when that will be. Definitely probably going to be one of the ones I will do this year. So next we have is Just Cause 2. Now, I have played through Just Cause 3. I got the Platinum and the 100% for that one. And I am actually fairly interested in doing the other Just Cause games. I believe Just Cause 2 and 4 is the last ones I need to do for that franchise. And I'm actually somewhat curious in the other games. So this might potentially be one of the games I will play at some point. Ooh, next up we have is GTA 4. Now, I do have the Platinum for this. It's a really good game, actually. The only thing I have left for it is the DLC, the Ballad of Gay Tony DLC. So this will potentially be one of the ones I will want to go back and clean the rest of it up at some point this year. Might potentially happen soon, just to get it done. But yeah, this will definitely be one of the games I will play at some point this year. I know that for a fact. Alright, next we have is Lego Indiana Jones. The Adventure Continues. Now, this is the only Indiana Jones, I believe, that has a Platinum trophy. I did play the other one. I think it's like, what's it called? The Original Adventure or something like that. I really enjoyed that one. So I'm not entirely sure what this one is like. But I am curious about this one, so I am definitely going to be playing this one at some point. I'm just not too sure when. But it's definitely going to happen. Alright, and the last game we have for the physical games, and it's a pretty good one too. It's a pretty solid game. I want to say it's pretty rare, but I'm not entirely sure. But it is Saw. Now, I have been looking for this game for quite a while because it actually really piqued my interest quite a bit, and I've been wanting to get a hold of this. So this is definitely going to be a game that I will play through at some point. I might even play it for Halloween or October one time. I feel like that would be a good opportunity to play this. So yeah, this will definitely be one of the games I will play at some point. I am just not too sure when. Alright, with that being all of my physical games, now I want to go over all of my digital games that I have and go through every single one of them that I have in my library. Alright, so here we have the list of all my games on the library. I have 319 total games. The first one being GTA 5, which I covered this before, so we don't have to talk anymore about that. Mortal Kombat X, I am actively working on this one. All I need for the plat is some time-related tower and some other miscellaneous thing I'm saving for plat. And yeah, that'll be pretty much it. The Playroom, I have to play it on the PS4, but I got one trophy missing for it, and it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to do. Sea of Thieves, I got the platinum for it. All I have is just all that DLC. Yeah, 56%. That is absolutely crazy. I will get back and do all that DLC at some point. Kingdom Come Deliverance. This was a redeemed game on Twitch, so I will have to get to this at some point and play it. The only thing about this game is some of the trophies seem like they're a bit of a pain to do. You have to do like a hardcore playthrough as well, with like some negative effects, and there's some very specific things you have to do, like a pacifist run, I believe, and all that stuff. So I heard this game is actually pretty good. It just takes a bit to get into. Next is Ultros. I have no idea what this game is about. Kind of looks like a Metroidvania from what I'm seeing in these like pictures or videos down here, but I'm not entirely sure. I would have to look more into this, see what kind of game it is, what the trophies are like, that sort of thing. So it's a maybe. Ace Combat 7. This is one of the games in that Astrobot challenge that I've been thinking of doing. Now, I believe these Ace Combat games are pretty challenging. I believe this is a 7 out of 10. So that's going to be interesting. Mortal Kombat 11. I will play this at some point. Probably not anytime soon after I get Mortal Kombat X done. I need a break after that. Umbrella Corps. I am going to be doing this with somebody to boost it with. I believe this is one of the multiplayer Resident Evils. I think it's relatively easy to boost, I think, so that's going to be interesting to see. Electrician Simulator. This is one of the games I thought about doing for my simulator September. And it actually looks half decent. Doesn't seem too bad. So if I do decide to do that again, this could be one of them I might potentially do. So up next is Monopoly. I do want to end up playing this one. I'm just waiting for a group to do it with. Definitely gonna play this one. I believe it's fairly short and relatively easy. Not really gonna expect much. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I do want to end up playing this one as well. Looks like it could be pretty fun, and just doing like a trivia quiz kind of game sounds like it would be pretty fun. And I think the plat is not too bad either. I think it's pretty easy. And then we got Dead by Daylight, which, yeah, 4 trophies. So this is definitely one of the ones I will have to go back for and clean up. This is going to be a long game to do with all the DLC, and I'm pretty sure that I am going to have to do additional separate trophy lists as well, because I believe some actions or stuff you do in the game link to the other sets, so I'm going to pop some trophies in those, and I will have to do those. So this is going to be a big pain in the ass to do, but we'll get there when we get there. Where Winds Meet. I do have to plat for this, but for this one, I am gonna wait a bit for the DLC, because the thing the devs like to do for this game is release content in chunks. They did that for the base game, and they're doing it again for the DLC. So not all of the content in the DLC is released, so the 100% is not obtainable right now. So I am more than likely going to be waiting until all of it is released before I go back to it. Next we got Core Keeper. I really enjoyed this game back on PC and I do want to play it again. However, I do want to find a group to play it with. I feel like that would make the game much more fun with a group. And yeah, I really enjoyed this game. Definitely probably gonna play this again. Epic Mickey, Rebrushed. This is a maybe. It does look cool. Does look interesting. The thing about this though, I think it has some sort of like permadeath mode or something like that. And it's one of those things where I might want to look more into. This one might be a maybe. I have to look more into it. Next we have a couple pig games. And, you know, of course, with the theme for my account, playing all the pig games, those are definitely going to get played at some point. Subnautica Below Zero, definitely going to be playing this at some point along with the first one. These games do look interesting. Might be a bit scary, but definitely want to give these games a try, so I will definitely be playing those. The new Lego Batman is next. I am definitely looking forward to playing this. Looks wicked cool, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. I feel like I do want to play the older Lego Batmans, the Lego Batman 2 and the third one, so that could be something I might do, and hype for that one. Human Fall Flat. This is a game I am somewhat interested in. It looks pretty cool. I believe you could play this game with another person, so I might want to end up doing that. Kind of just experience the game with a co-op partner. But I did play a little bit of this, and it was somewhat interesting, so I might potentially play it. Now this game, I have no idea what kind of game this is. This would be the kind of game I would have to look more into. Looks like a mech kind of game. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna have to look more into. Killing Floor 3. This is definitely a game I've been wanting to play since I played Killing Floor 2. That game was actually pretty enjoyable, so I'm curious about this one. I've heard this one is not as great, but I still want to play it and see for myself. Outlast Trials. This one, I'm not entirely sure if I want to play. Maybe if I find maybe a couple people to play it with. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to look more into it a bit. Lego Horizon Adventures, a Lego game, so definitely gonna be playing that at some point down the road. Neon White. This is a big maybe. It does look interesting. It's like a card game, speed run kind of game with some platforming and stuff like that. The only thing with it is it has some permadeath stuff, and yeah, I don't mess with permadeath. It has some like time trials you have to do, I think, and it's a lot of time trials, so it's another one of those things where I might do it once I feel more comfortable with doing some more harder games, especially ones that have permadeath. Stump Jump, pig game, so of course. Slender the Arrival. I do want to go back to this at some point. Probably gonna do it around October this year and just go back and finally clean it up. Darksiders Genesis. I do want to play this one with a co-op partner. Does look pretty interesting. So next we have Necromunda Hired Gun. This is another redeemed game, and from what I've seen, it actually looks pretty interesting too. So I'm definitely gonna be playing that. EA Sports WRC. I am not too sure about this one. If I'm really starting to run low on racing games or like driving games and I'm having that itch to play one again, maybe I might do this one, but I'm not entirely sure. Stray, definitely gonna be playing this one. This is also part of the Astrobot challenge. Gonna have to be playing that as it is a cameo, and just it looks like it's a good game anyway. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Now for this game, I don't know. It does look like it could be interesting. You like place down troops and do battles. But the thing with this is it has some trophies where you have to complete each campaign separately. I don't think you have to do it all at once, but like each separate campaign without losing a single battle. And that kind of just threw me off and kind of pushed me away, so I'm not too sure if I actually want to go through with that one. Castle Crashers. This is a game I was going to play with a group, but it didn't end up happening. I do still want to play this one, just not too sure when. Does look like it could be really fun. Batman, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City. I do want to play these. This is the sort of thing where I feel like I should probably do these two first before going back to Arkham Knight, because that one is part of my backlog. At least I want to do Arkham Asylum. Arkham City is a bit grindy, so I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that one. Crisis Core. I do want to play this one before going back to Rebirth. Looks like it could be a pretty good game. Grow Song of the Evertree. Now this game, most people will probably not know what it is. It is a sandbox, like town building kind of game, I believe, and I love those kind of things in games, and I've always have, so this is right up my alley. So this will definitely be a game that I'm gonna play. Stranger of Paradise. This game, I have the platinum, but I just had the DLC to do. This is gonna be like one of the last things I go back and try to clean up. It's just the DLC really sucks on this game. Even the whole game is just mid. Monster Hunter Rise. I put a decent chunk into it, so I'm gonna have to go back to it at some point. I believe I'm pretty close to the platinum. I just have a couple crowns and some decorations to get. But the DLC I still have a bit to do. And yeah, it is pretty grindy. That would be a nice one to have though. Cocoon. This one I would probably play if I want to play something short, like experience a short game. So this one could potentially be one I might play in the future. Alan Wake 2. I do want to play Alan Wake 1 and Control before playing this one, so I'm definitely gonna be playing this after those games are done. Minecraft Dungeons. Have to go back for the DLC. This game is kinda yeah. The DLC kind of makes it drag on. Like it's an okay game, but yeah, the DLC is a bit ridiculous. I think I'm gonna be playing through the rest of this with somebody, so looking forward to that. Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. Now this one is for the pre-sequel that I have not done. Like I said, I might do it at some point. I might not. We'll see. Flint Hook. This game is a roguelike. A lot of people don't know or heard about this game. It's actually not really a popular game, but it's actually pretty fun if you're into that kind of stuff. Some stuff is pretty challenging though. Definitely gonna have to go back and finish that at some point. Risk of Rain 2. This one I have to go back for the freaking DLC. I'm not too sure how I feel about this game. Like the platinum experience kind of ruined it quite a bit for me. I feel like I'm making it worse than it actually is, but I don't know. Just there was 2 trophies for the platinum that kind of really ruined the game for me, and it kind of makes me not want to go back for the DLC, but has to happen at some point. The Wolf Among Us, I've heard that this Tall Tale is amazing, so definitely gonna be playing this at some point. I believe it's also fairly short. Resident Evil 3, another redeemed game, so definitely gonna be playing this at some point. Resident Evil Resistance, I believe this came with buying Resident Evil 3. I might have to look more into this one. It looks like it's another one of those multiplayer Resident Evils, so yeah, I'm not too sure if I'm actually gonna end up playing this or not. Like I said, have to look more into it. Viewfinder, this one I'm definitely gonna end up playing. It looks very interesting, has a very interesting concept for gameplay, and yeah, I'm just very intrigued. Definitely gonna be playing that at some point. Psychonauts 2, I don't know much about this game, but it does look fairly interesting, so I might give this one a try. Might want to look a bit more into it. Age of Mythology, this one I'm actually gonna be starting pretty soon with a group. Used to play a lot of this back on PC. I quite enjoyed it, so looking forward to that. Payday 3, it's not as good as Payday 2, but I've got some trophies in it, so gonna have to go back and play it at some point. Yakuza 0, I played through the story, amazing story. It's just all of the side stuff it's just a lot. At some point, I will have to go back and do it. Another pig game, so obviously gonna be playing that at some point. Burnout Paradise, see, this does look interesting, but the thing about this is I think you need 8 players for the online, and that is a lot of players, and I don't have 8 players, so I don't know, it might not happen, but I would love to check it out. RoboQuest, another roguelike, does look quite interesting. Might want to give this a try at some point. Jusant, I believe this is a short game. If I'm feeling like playing a short game and experiencing something chill, might check this one out. Diablo 4 is definitely one of the ones I'm not going to be playing. For one, it's just very grindy, especially the DLC. It's like wicked grindy. And I played this a bit on PC. I played the early access or the beta of it, and I just did not vibe with it. I didn't really like it all that much, so yeah, that one I'm more than likely not going to play. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, I have no idea what kind of game this is. It's going to be one of those ones that I have to look more into. Alone in the Dark, I believe this is a horror game, and I believe it's fairly short as well. So it might be something I might want to look a little bit more into, but quite possibly I might play that one. New Tales of the Borderlands, I've heard that this one is pretty terrible, so more than likely not going to play this one. I've heard a lot of things about it with the specific endings, you doing everything correctly for a different ending, it just doesn't work, or some stuff like that, and it just sounds miserable. So more than likely not going to play that. Shopkeep, now this game is right up my alley, so definitely going to be playing this at some point. You run like a magic shop, and yeah, that's my kind of thing, so I'm probably going to enjoy this one. Warhammer Boltgun, now this one I'm not too sure much what it is about. It's not, or it doesn't have a platinum, and I think it's fairly short, so maybe it's one of those ones where I'm gonna have to look more into. Now Balatro, I've heard nothing but good things about this game. A lot of people enjoy it, and it's very addictive. It's just very grindy. Like, it requires a lot of hours. Maybe I might play this one, but I'm not quite sure, honestly. Potion Permit, I believe this is another one of those games that is right up my alley. So probably gonna enjoy that one as well. Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory. This one, honestly, I'm not too sure what it is about. I might want to look more into it, but yeah, it's a maybe. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, here's my thing with this one. I believe it's by the same devs that made Friday the 13th, and I really do not like those devs because of what they did to that game. And for that reason alone, I'm not too sure if I really want to play this one. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. If you can boost it in a private match, then maybe, but if you can't, then that's an instant no. Like, no, I'm good on that. RoboCop. This one is definitely gonna be a game I'm gonna play. I've heard that this is actually a really fun game. Definitely gonna be playing this one at some point. Then we have all of the Yakuzas, Yakuza 5, Yakuza Kiwami 2, which I covered before, Yakuza 6, Yakuza Kiwami, Yakuza 4, and Yakuza 3. So the first thing I want to bring up is Yakuza 3. I am not going to play this version. Instead, I'm going to play the new one, or the remake with Dark Tides that got released. Because I've heard things about this one that some of the controls are very jank, especially with pool being very sensitive or something like that and making it nearly impossible. So I might just play the remake instead of this one. All these other ones, I'm not too sure, like, especially for 5, 4, and 6. I think for Yakuza Kiwami and Kiwami 2, I think I'm gonna play the remakes of those, the PS5 versions. Sound Shapes, honestly, I don't know. I'll probably end up playing this at some point. It's one of those weird games where music is played and you navigate through levels or something like that. I don't know. That one's a maybe. Cozy Grove. This is definitely a game I want to play. Another game that's right up my alley. Definitely gonna be playing that at some point. Looks like it could be really chill and pretty fun. Sonic Colors Ultimate. Now, with the Sonic games, I'm not entirely sure, especially this one. I'm gonna have to look more into this one. The Sonic game I would most likely probably play first is Frontiers, but even then, I've heard that there's mixed things about it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection. This one I might play. I played Shredder's Revenge. That was relatively fun. There was some tricky trophies or challenging trophies in Shredder's Revenge. Not too sure what this one's like. Surely it's easier than that one, so maybe I might play this one at some point. Dragon Age The Veilguard. Now for this, I do want to play Inquisition first and then play this one, so it's a maybe. Overcooked 2, I was gonna play this with some people, but it just ended up happening. I would still like to play this at some point. Just depends on getting a group. Subnautica, as I said before, I want to play this one. And Below Zero. Taxi Life, a city driving simulator. This is another one of those simulator games I thought about doing for the Simulator September, so could be a potential one I might want to do. Resident Evil Village. This one I'm not too sure if I want to play. Kind of just depends how I feel about some of the other Resident Evils, but it does look like it'll be a pretty good game. I'm just gonna have to see how I feel about some of the other Resident Evils. I've only played through Resident Evil 5, and my next one is more than likely gonna be Resident Evil 7. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. High on Life, another requested game, so definitely gonna be playing this one, and I've heard a lot of good things about this one, so looking forward to that at some point. Pac-Man World Repack. This one, I actually don't know much about this one besides like the trophy for beating, I don't know what it is, something about the original Pac-Man and that being like wicked difficult, so I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna end up playing that one. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Definitely gonna be playing this one, as I do want to play some more Need for Speed games. So this one is a possibility. Stanley Parable, another requested game. Definitely gonna be playing this. Heard it's pretty interesting, and some of the trophies are pretty goofy. You know, I have thought about doing the 10 years legit, but I'm just like, do I really want to wait 10 years for that just to get the Splat? It's just going to be sitting there on my list, so I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that one. Code Vein, played a bit of this. It's a weird, like, Souls-like kind of game. Definitely gonna be going back to this one, but I'm gonna be playing it with somebody, hopefully throughout. I tried playing with somebody like a couple times and it just didn't click, so hopefully I will get this done at some point. Trove. Now for Trove, this one, it's very grindy. I actually almost have all of the trophies, but there is something in the base game that I would need a decent amount of people for. I think I need 6 people, and that is the PvP. It is pretty much dead, and I think I need to reach rank 50 for that. And some of the other stuff in the game is pretty like wicked grindy, so I'm not too sure if that one's gonna happen, but we'll see we'll see. Infamous First Light, definitely gonna be playing this one. Definitely want to play through all the other Infamous games, and this one I am going to be playing first or next. Temtem. This is like a Pokemon kind of game. Might want to look more into it. This one's a maybe. Aliens Dark Descent. Honestly, I'm not too sure if I'm going to play this one. That's another one I'm going to have to look more into. That one looks like it would be best to do with a group. Death Note. I believe this is like somewhat similar to Among Us. I don't know. This one probably not, because I haven't watched Death Note, and yeah, that kind of just not really interests me at all. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. This one I might want to look more into. This one looks like it could be pretty fun, so this one's a possibility. Ghostwire Tokyo. Now, see, for this one, I've been interested in it for so long. It looks like it could be an interesting game, but some stuff for it can be grindy, like the collectibles. And I've seen a bit of the DLC, and it doesn't look that fun. Looks pretty boring, to be honest, so I'm not too sure. I do still probably want to check it out, but it honestly might not be soon. Anytime soon. Oh, and then The Division. Now see, for this one, I have the Plat 4. It's just all this DLC looks like a huge fucking pain in the ass. Especially The Last Stand. This one, you need, I believe, 16 people. And it can only be 16 people, otherwise it will not start. And I believe that mode is pretty much dead, so yeah, that's gonna be like a miracle if I even get this done, but we'll see what happens. Scare Ritual. I believe I was gonna play this one with the group. I'm not sure who exactly, but I'm not even too sure what kind of game this is, but I believe this is a pretty difficult game. I don't know, if I end up getting the group, then maybe we might play this one. We will see what happens. Hogwarts Legacy, I definitely want to play at some point. Looks like it could be really interesting. Definitely want to play this one for sure. Elden Ring, I covered that before. Dead Space. Is this the Dead Space that has the permadeath? Yeah, that one, for one, I might want to look more into. If that is the case, permadeath kind of pushes me away a bit. Doki Doki Literature Club. This looks like it could be an interesting experience, so I might potentially play this one. Sinking City. Is this... What game is this again? Is it like a detective kind of game? I'm not entirely sure what kind of game this is. I think it's like a detective game. I think so. Definitely want to check this one out, so that one is more than likely gonna get played. Spiritfarer, definitely want to play this one as well. I believe this one is also redeemed. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, I definitely want to play that one. Walking Dead, Telltale, definitely want to play this as well. I heard that this one is pretty good as well. We're definitely going to be playing that. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, definitely want to get this done at some point. This one, I am more concerned with the online than Unity, because I think there is a server or online based trophy that's tied to the single player. It's got one of those. I might prioritize going back to this one than Unity at the moment, so this one might be soon. Sagebrush, I believe this one's a short experience. I'm not entirely sure what kind of game this one or this is, so might probably play this. And then we have Civilization 6. Now this one is I most regret playing. Oh my god, I hate it. I'm not too sure how I want to do this one, but I'm not too sure if you can do like the majority of the trophies in co-op. I actually really don't know, but tried to play it with a group. We found out that the game is region locked, so one of our friends in the group couldn't join us, and then we kind of just dropped it. And now I am stuck with this game and gonna have to figure out how I want to go back to this at some point. So this Harry Potter game, I'm not too sure about this one. I think this one is like a multiplayer PvP like Harry Potter game. I'm not too sure if I'm actually gonna go back to this one, really. Probably not. Little Nightmares 2. You know, I've actually been interested in probably checking out these Little Nightmare games. The only thing with it is you need a co-op partner for one of the trophies. I feel like these games could be very interesting. So I might want to check these out. Now this is a very weird one. Hoko Life. Now the only reason I picked this up is, well, for one, it's right up my alley. And from what I've seen or heard of it, it's kind of similar to Animal Crossing, I think. So that's also kind of the reason why I picked it up. So definitely going to be playing that at some point. Ender Lilies, I really don't know if I'm going to play this one, honestly. I don't know what kind of game this is. It looks like a Metroidvania. I'm not too sure about this one. Maybe. It's one of those ones that I'm going to have to look more into. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This one, I'm not too sure how I feel about it. I might want to look more into it. Again, see what it's like. But this one could be an interesting one to play. I just might want to look more into it. Another Need for Speed game. This one I do want to potentially play. I do want to get a group to do the one online for. I didn't end up doing it because at the time when some people I know were doing it, I just was feeling a bit burnt out from trophy hunting, so I didn't end up doing it, and that was when it was on Extra and it was leaving, I think, and I decided not to do it then. Chef Life, another simulator game. This one I do want to do for my September event if I decide to do it again, so yeah, and it looked half decent. Rift Tracks and What the Dub, these are party games, and after doing Use Your Words, thought about potentially doing some more party games and just focusing on getting the platinum for them. Not too sure if I'm gonna go through with that. Gonna have to look into that a bit more, but it would be interesting because I don't think people I know of in the trophy hunting community really go for like these party game kind of platinums. So that would be kind of interesting if I kind of go out of my way to do them, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like someone else would have done it, but anyways, Borderlands 3 we covered. Among Us, this one I definitely do want to play. Just get a group to all play and we all get the trophies for them. Not entirely sure if I just want to play it or just boost the trophies for them. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. This one is potentially probably play it. Dark Pictures Man of Medan. This is one of those like choice story kind of games, so in those games usually have multiple playthroughs you have to do, so I don't know. I just did one of these kind of games. I finished Heavy Rain, so I'm not really in the mood to do one of these games. And even if I am in the mood, I'm gonna be doing Detroit next. Animal Shelter Simulator. This is a game that I was thinking of doing for my first September simulator event, but I've heard that this one is not the greatest. Maybe I might just do it anyway next time. We'll see. Moving out, another redeemed game. Does look like it could be fun, so definitely gonna be playing that. Streets of Rage 4. I believe this is one of those beat 'em up games. I'm not entirely sure if I'm actually gonna play this one. SpongeBob SquarePants Cosmic Shake. Definitely want to play this at some point. I definitely want to do some of the other SpongeBob games, mainly this one and the new one that came out, the Titans Tide, whatever that one's called. I don't know if there's another one on like PS4, PS5. I know there's a few that are on PS3, or at least one of them, but that one I heard is not great. And then AEW Fight Forever. Now, the thing with this is I've really wanted to get at least one wrestling game because I actually somewhat enjoy wrestling. And I thought about doing this one, but I don't know. I need to take another look into the trophies. Maybe in the future I might do it. We'll have to see. Uncharted 4. Definitely have to go back and get the platinum for this one. Definitely want to do this. Want to get the multiplayer done. Lost Legacy I want to do as well. Definitely want to finish the Uncharted games, the rest of them. Get the platinum for it. DC Universe Online. Now for this game, I'm not sure if I'm even gonna 100% this one. I might do whatever I can, but there is just a lot of DLC, and you need a membership to get these trophies. But there is also a DLC pack. It's this one, right? Yeah. You need to do PvP. 1,000 layer PvP battle. That's just insane. Win 5 consecutive layer PvP battles without letting your opponents win a single round. Yeah, that's just crazy. That one's like one of the last games I would probably go back to. Back for Blood. I was very close to getting this done with the DLC. It's just Act 6 on the hardest difficulty. No Hope. That is incredibly difficult, and again, that's another one that's like at the bottom of the list. Lego The Hobbit. Another Lego game, so definitely gonna be doing that. Ghost Runner 2. For this one, I'm not entirely sure. At the very least, I want to do the first one before I even do this one. But even then, I have to look more into these games. So it's a maybe. Tunic, I definitely want to play. Looks like it could be a fun game. I believe there are some missables to it. So, gonna have to look out for that. Unravel 2. After learning about this one and some of the trophies, this one also has permadeath, so more than likely not going to be doing this. Probably not. It's a pretty ridiculous permadeath too. Lego Ninjago movie, video game, definitely going to be doing this one as it's another Lego game. We Were Here Forever. I do want to do like at least one stack of all these We Were Here games, so definitely going to be doing this one at some point. Skull the Hero Slayer. I don't know what kind of game this is. Is this a Souls game? This one is one of those ones that I'm gonna have to look more into. Minecraft Legends. This one I have thought about doing, but the things I've heard that this game, for one, is not that great, and it's actually pretty buggy, and it actually has some online stuff, and that is also buggy. I'm not too sure what I want to do with this. I do want to get at least one stack of all the Minecraft games. which I have regular Minecraft, I got Minecraft Dungeons, and that would mean I would have to do Legends. But I am still trying to look for Minecraft Story Mode. That one is also one I would like to do. Mortals of Averum. I am not too sure what kind of game this is. This is another one I might have to look more into, but it does look pretty cool, not gonna lie. So that one might be a potential one I might want to look into. Rebirth we covered, Unity we covered. Firewatch. This is a game I definitely want to play and check out. It's short, it's a pretty fun experience by the looks of it. Could be interesting, definitely want to play that one. Doesn't have a platinum, just 100%, but definitely want to experience that. Family Feud, another one of those party kind of games I thought about doing, but I've heard some things about the online about this game, and it kind of makes me worried. Might want to look a bit more into it. Jackbox Party Pack 2. This one I have to try and see if I can finish it. It's just this bomb corpse stuff is a bit of a problem, especially that last one, defuse 10 bombs. You have to do it in a row, and yeah. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. This one I have booted it up. I think most of the trophies are tied to like the campaign. I don't think there's anything with multiplayer, so I might give this one another go and play it. Red Dead 2. Now for this one I have done all the online, so I don't have to worry about that, but the thing about this is I got spoiled by the massive thing at the end, and I just feel like that's gonna ruin a bit of the experience for the game. But I do have to go back to it at some point and just do it anyway, but just knowing that kind of sucks. Sifu, this one I might have to look more into. The only thing I know about this is the DLC being extremely difficult, so that kind of pushes me away a bit because of the things I've heard. So maybe just look more into it. Now, Destiny 2 is another one of those that's part of the Astrobot challenge. Yeah, if I want to go through that, I definitely have to play through one of those. Hello Neighbor 2. I'm pretty sure this is pretty short, so I might play this one some point. Jackbox Party Pack 5, have to clean that up at some point. Foam Stars, not sure what kind of game this is. That's another one I might have to look more into. Rollerdrome is another one I might want to look more into. Don't really know much about that, so those two might be a maybe. This one I believe is a Souls game, and it's not a good one at that from what I've heard, so this one probably will be a no. Probably not going to play this one, to be honest. Little Big Planet 3. This is one of those ones that I do want to go back and finish up whatever I can. Look at that, just one trophy, and it's a gold trophy too. Like, that's the part that kind of annoys me, because it's one trophy. Not only that, but I also have the PS3 version of that to do, and it's also unobtainable. Both versions are unobtainable, and it's just at some point I will go back to both of them, both versions, and finish what I can, hopefully. Another Jackbox Party Pack, gotta go back and clean up. Evil West. Now the thing with this game is it looked interesting and actually looked pretty fun, but there is one thing I heard that involves something with a save file, and it kind of worried me. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Like, the save file can get corrupted or something like that. Let's say it was something really bad, and it ruined any sort of interest into it. Another one I might want to look more into. Nobody Saves the World. I played a little bit of this on PC. It's definitely a fun game, so I might want to play it again. I believe I might want to play this one with somebody, like co-op. I believe you can play this with co-op. I don't know if it's online co-op or just local co-op. That's the sort of thing I'm gonna have to look into, but definitely would like to play that. Plague Tale Requiem. Definitely want to play these Plague Tale games. They look very cool and pretty fun. Definitely want to play that one in, what's the other one? Innocence? Definitely want to play both of those. Baldur's Gate 3, gonna have to go back and finish at some point. Worms Battlegrounds, gonna have to go back and finish this, but it's not gonna be anytime soon because I'm in the process of boosting Worms and I am getting really sick and tired of Worms, so that one is probably not gonna be for a while. But I do have to go back and get that one done. Sable, this one I have to look more into again, but I've heard that something about this game is not good. Not too sure what it is, but there's something about this game that has issues, I think. Lego 2K Drive. Now, despite how grindy this one is as well, I do want to do this one. Probably gonna be right up there with Lego Skywalker Saga. Gonna be one of the last ones I will do, as it is one of the more grindy ones I have left for Lego games. Road 96. Definitely want to play this one. Looks like it could be really cool. Now, this game, I doubt anybody knows what this game is. The only reason I found it is because it involves the pigs and the mafia. The one thing about it is no one has the platinum. Not a single person has it. And it kind of worries me that it is either it's glitched. Like some of the trophies are glitched and it is unobtainable. So that is one of the reasons why I am hesitant to play it, but I do want to play it at the same time. Yeah, that's the only thing that's holding me back from it. Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball The Breakers. I don't know. I don't watch Dragon Ball, so it kind of doesn't really interest me. Aliens Fireteam Elite. This game I have thought about doing with a group before, so maybe in the future I might play this one at some point, but we'll just have to see. Amnesia Collection, have to go back and clean this up. The thing with this is one of the games in the collection is mainly permadeath, but it's a short game, but it's just, yeah, my thing with permadeath. Crash Bandicoot. This is all 3 games. have Crash Bandicoot 1 and 3 in my backlog, and at some point I might as well just do 2, so I will probably do the trilogy at some point. Weird West. This game, I do not know what it is about. It's one of those ones where I might want to look more into. Callisto Protocol. I heard from a lot of people that this game is terrible. I'm not too sure if I want to do it. That's something I'm gonna have to think about. It's a maybe. One of those ones I might want to look more into. Farming Simulator. It's Farming Simulator. Apparently it's easy, and I don't know if it's short, but it's fairly easy, so maybe. Generation Zero. This is like a mech kind of game, is it? It's a maybe. I'm not too sure. Lego Star Wars we covered. Assassin's Creed. This would be Brotherhood and Revelation, so definitely gonna be playing those. PGA Tour. This one I'm not too sure. I'm not really big into golf, so I'm not entirely sure if I ever gonna play that one. Resident Evil 6. I almost got dragged into doing this one at some point. I honestly don't know if I really want to. It's just the DLC, I think, is the problem for this one in particular. I don't know what is in the DLC exactly, but I know there is some multiplayer stuff, like, guaranteed, so that one I'm gonna have to look more into and think about. Death's Door. I know a few people that have played this game, and it actually looks fairly interesting. It is pretty difficult with a playthrough you have to do with, like, the umbrella, using only the umbrella. Yeah, but I still might play this, potentially. We will see. Remnant. I'm gonna have to go back and do this one. It's mainly the survival DLC. Bully. Now this is a game I'm definitely gonna be playing for sure at some point. I love Bully. I played it a few times. I really enjoy the game. So definitely want to play through that again. Now Fortnite, here's the crazy part. I did thought about doing Fortnite. I know it's a crazy grindy game. Honestly, I've done pretty grindy games before. That one's a maybe. I might have to think about that one a bit and maybe look a bit more into it, but yeah. Far Cry Primal, definitely gonna be playing that. Endling, this game I thought about doing at some point. I'll probably do it. It's just, I think some of the trophies you need to have a guide up, so that one's a maybe. This Black Ops game, this one more than likely is gonna be a no, because, I don't know. I think it's mainly just the zombies. Is this the one with the really difficult, like, arcade zombies mode? I think it is. That's kind of the one that kind of pushes me away a bit. I talked about Alan Wake and that I want to do this one first, and then Control. Days Gone, got the DLC I gotta go back to, which is mainly just challenges and some extra playthroughs. That's gonna be great. I talked about Far Cry 6. Jurassic World Evolution 2. This one, I'm not too sure how I feel about this. I think it's like, I don't want to say a city builder, but like you build your own like dinosaur park. I don't know. That one is another one I might want to look more into. Trek to Yomi. You know, this one does look pretty interesting. This one might be one I might potentially go and play at some point. Grid Legends. I do love my racing games. I'm not too sure about this one though. This one, I don't know what this one is. This one looks more like on a race track, like F1 or something. So I'm not too sure about that one. Descenders. This I'm not too sure how I feel about. Gonna have to look more into. Now Chivalry 2. This one is probably gonna be a no because I've heard this one is incredibly buggy with majority of the trophies, and I believe it's mainly PvP, and I'm just, yeah, no. Tales of Iron. This one could be interesting. I might want to look more into that one. Sackboy. That one, as part of the Astrobot challenge, this would be the only choice I would have because all of the Little Big Planets are unobtainable. So if I were to do that, I would have to play that one. Meteor Maker, I have no idea what this is. I might have to look more into that one. Oh yeah, Battlefield 2042. This one is the one I heard that is probably the worst one in the Battlefield, so nope. Bunny Raiders, I don't know, probably not. I've heard that one's short and it's not great. Ollie Ollie World. Now this one I think is a pretty difficult one. I believe all these Ollie Ollie games are pretty difficult, so I gotta get more comfortable with harder games. Evil Dead, I believe this is mainly PvP. Multiplayer experiences here, yeah, so probably not. Axiom Verge 2. This one I don't know too much about. That one I might have to look a bit more into. Jedi Fallen Order, that one is definitely one I want to play. This one along with Survivor and Outlaws. Biomutant, for the majority I've heard, is not that great, so I'm not entirely sure if I want to play this one. Mass Effect, definitely gonna be playing this at some point. Play through all of the Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3. Maybe Andromeda if I want to, but definitely the trilogy. Heavenly Bodies, I have no idea what kind of game this is. Might have to look more into it. Super Hot. Now I have been hearing things about this game, and apparently some of the stuff in it is quite challenging, so I'm not too sure if I really want to go through and play this one. Any of these Injustice games I'm probably not gonna play. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not gonna play Injustice 2. Hot Wheels Unleashed. Definitely want to play this Hot Wheels as well, along with 2 at some point. The first Little Nightmares I'm probably not going to play because it has a trophy where you can't die, and that's like a nope. Yakuza, talked about Yakuza before. Arcadegeddon, I'm going to have to look more into it. Crash 4 is a bit too much for me. I think I'm just going to stick with the trilogy, and that might be it. Yeah, this one might be a little bit too difficult for me. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. This one I think is relatively easy and straightforward. I might do this one if I have a group to do it with. Warframe, gonna have to go back and do at some point. I believe I have a group to do that with, so Naruto, don't really watch it, so not really that interested. Lost Ark Legion. This is actually one of the ones I'm thinking of going back to at some point, just get the last trophy done and out of the way, which is surprisingly permadeath, but I'm gonna try and cheese it with cloud saving. Curse of the Dead Gods, I do not know what kind of game this is, but I believe it's a fairly difficult one, so gonna have to look more into. Slay the Spire, this one I'm not too sure if I'm actually gonna play, to be honest. It looks it looks difficult, I'm not too sure. That one's a maybe, I don't know. Team Sonic Racing, this one I'm actually kind of tempted to do maybe, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. Covered Persona 5. Dirt 5, this is definitely one of the ones for like the dirt or the rally kind of games that I want to do. So that one I might potentially do. Deep Rock Galactic, I somewhat almost got tempted into doing this, but well, not tempted, but like after seeing a streamer play the majority of this game, it kind of piqued my interest a bit. So that one's maybe. Mortal Shell, I don't know what kind of game this is. It looks like a Souls game from what I've seen some footage of, so probably not. Now this game, I want to look a bit more into it, but from what I've heard of what kind of game it is, it piqued my interest. It was like a looter hack and slash kind of game, and it sounded kind of interesting, so I might potentially check that one out. Predator Hunting Grounds, I'm guessing this is the same thing as Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that, so probably not. Hitman 2, this one I'm probably not gonna play either. It's like wicked grindy, and it's only 100%, so yeah, probably not. This Plants vs. Zombies game, I have someone I'm gonna be doing it with, so we'll be going back to that one. WWE 2K Battlegrounds, I might want to look a bit more into this, but maybe. Star Wars Squadrons, there was a group I was potentially might consider doing it with, but I don't know, that I haven't really set that up yet. Moss, that's definitely a game I want to go back to, and it's also part of the Astro Bot Challenge. Just in Time Incorporated have to go back to at some point. As also, these are strictly VR games. I will have to do them when I get more room to do VR. I just don't have that right now. Surgeon Simulator, gonna have to go back to that game. Octodad, definitely gonna be playing this at some point. Also part of the Astrobot Challenge. Planet Coaster, popped 1 trophy, so I'm gonna have to go back to it. Covered Battlefield 5. Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely a game I do want to check out. It's like an iconic like PlayStation title, and I believe a decent amount of people really enjoy this franchise, so I definitely want to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Thumpers, maybe it's a rhythm game. Not entirely sure about that one. This game, Rez Infinite, I'm not entirely sure what kind of game this is, but it is part of the Astrobot Challenge. Paper Beasts, this one I think it's fairly easy, so I might potentially do that one. Now, Enter the Gungeon, this one, I played a bit of it on PC and it's actually pretty fun, but it's also quite challenging as well. If I was able to play this game in co-op, I would probably consider doing it, but it's only local co-op, so that kind of throws me off a bit. Astrobot Rescue Mission, definitely want to play this one when I get VR hooked up. Definitely want to play through that one. Farpoint, another Astrobot cameo or challenge game. Now this one I believe is actually fairly difficult. Crash Team Racing, this is one I actually want to go back to pretty soon. I love Crash Team Racing. I played the OG of this one back on the PS1, so I really enjoyed it. Definitely am gonna be going back to this one. Greedfall only popped one trophy. I believe this is like an open world kind of RPG kind of game, so definitely gonna be going back to that. Concrete Genie, I do want to play. Does look like it could be a really fun game. Also part of the Astrobot challenge. There's Control, Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I do want to play some of these Tomb Raider games, but I might want to look more into the DLC because I believe at least a couple of them have multiplayer tied to it, so not entirely sure about that. Neverwinter, have to go back to. I do have a potential group I might do this with, so we'll see about that. Titanfall 2 is actually one of the games I thought about doing relatively soon. The only thing I heard about this is that trial or score you have to beat or something like that, which is fairly difficult. Street Fighter 5, I hate that I have this on my list with one trophy. This is probably the one game that I will more than likely not going to be able to get the plat for. I will try my damn hardest to get what I can. I don't have any high hopes for that one. Spellbreak, can't do. Shadow of the Colossus, I definitely want to go back and play at some point. It's just, I believe there's a lot of playthroughs for that. Prominence Poker, this is one of the ones I definitely want to look more into and see what it's like. Not sure if it's populated or not. Yeah, one of the ones I definitely want to look more into before going back to it. Kingdoms of Amalur. This was a pretty fun game. Gonna have to go back to it at some point. Iconoclast. Don't know what kind of game this is. It doesn't have a platinum, but gonna have to go back to it at some point. There's Shadow of War. Like I said, gonna do Shadow of Mordor first, more than likely, and then go and do that one. Hollow Knight. This one kind of worries me now because of the update, and they patched the invincibility, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes later on down the road. Chronos Before the Ashes. This one I'm actually fairly close to getting the platinum for. Definitely might want to think about going back to this one at some point. There's Just Cause 4. Definitely gonna play that one at some point. Apex Legends. No, it's a battle royale game. That's another genre or like set of games that I really hate or just don't want to play is anything with Battle Royale. Like, I'm done with Battle Royale games. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. This I'm probably not even gonna bother playing. Fantasy Strike, this one I have to go back to. Erica is another one of those choice story heavy games like Heavy Rain and Dark Pictures, so definitely want to check this one out, but probably not anytime soon. Rise of the Tomb Raider, another Tomb Raider game. This one I probably want to look more into. There's Resident Evil 7 I have to go back to. Another Super Hot. Now, I don't know which Super Hot I want to do, the VR or the normal one, if I do decide to do it. Thief. I've heard some mixed things about this game. I've heard that some things are pretty buggy in it. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Dragon Age Inquisition. Talked about wanting to do this one before Veilguard. Assassin's Creed. Skyrim I definitely want to play at some point. That along with Oblivion. Yeah, those are going to be some very fun games. Call of Duty World War II, I'm not entirely sure. This is leaning more towards a no, probably. There's only like a few more Call of Duty games I'm going to do. Actually, World of War is probably going to be the only new one that I'm even might consider doing. Rick and Morty Virtual Reality. The thing with this one is it's one of those things where I want to see if I can find a physical copy and down patch it, because one of the current or newest patches made the game more difficult. Farming Simulator, Maybe, we'll see. It's kind of same thing with the other farming sim I had. Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. This one I need to go back to at some point and finish it. Dirt Rally 2, if I end up liking Dirt 5, maybe I'll check that one out. The Forest is definitely one I do want to potentially play with a group. The only thing about it is some of the trophies are very buggy between multiplayer and solo. It's just one of those weird things. BioShock Infinite, definitely gonna have to go back and play that one. Firewall Zero, I don't know what the hell this game is, but probably not. Rest of the other BioShock games, I definitely want to play these. I even thought about playing these before going back to Infinite, so might do that. Tropico 6, I don't know, it's like a dictator kind of building, city building, so probably not. Neo, again, it's a Souls kind of game, but I do have to go back and do it at some point since I popped one trophy. Outlast 2 has permadeath, so probably not. I played Last of Us Part 1, so probably not. Absolver, I am not too sure what this game really is. Might want to look more into this one, maybe. As I talked about with some of the other Batman games, want to do those before I go back to that one. Darksiders 3, I've seen some gameplay of this one. I think this one's like a Souls game, or got Souls mechanics, so probably not. Wipeout, I have to go back to this one at some point. This one is actually fairly difficult, so that's going to be interesting. Sniper Elite, I would like to check out some of these games, but I believe there is multiplayer tied to them. I mean, I really enjoyed the zombie armies. I would like to check out some of these Sniper Elite games. Detroit Become Human, definitely going to be playing that, just not anytime soon. And plus it's part of the Astrobot challenge. Sonic Mania, I'm not too sure. Overcooked, if I'm going to do Overcooked, I'm probably going to do Overcooked too, so I'm probably not going to be doing that one. Path of Exiles, I really don't know if I'm actually going to end up playing this. Probably not, to be honest. Conan Exiles, this is also probably not. Online multiplayer survival game, yeah, probably not. The Surge is also probably going to be a no because it's a Souls game. And I've heard it's not a good one at that. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, probably not. The Witness, this is a puzzle game, but from what I've been hearing, there's something in particular that's very difficult. It's like a random set of puzzles, and I think you gotta beat it in a certain amount of time, so not entirely sure if I'm gonna go after this one. Might want to look more into it. I'm not entirely sure what that Hitman is about, but probably not. Steep, I have to go back to. Now, Warface is a game I thought about going back to pretty soon and getting what I can, because this game is shutting down sometime this year. City Skylines, this one is pretty grindy, so I'm not entirely sure. XCOM 2, I believe there's like a permadeath kind of thing to it, so probably not. Trials Fusion, probably not. I've heard a lot of things about that, and it's pretty difficult, and there's just a lot of stuff to it. It's pretty grindy, so. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Now this one, I'm gonna have to go back to. This is gonna be quite an experience for sure. Rayman Legends. Now, I would like to probably do one of the Rayman games, as it's also part of the Astrobot challenge. By the way, that challenge also includes the DLC bot cameos as well, that I'm thinking about. Stifled. This is a horror game that like uses your microphone. Do I have to go back and clean that one up? So Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. This is another VR game. I have to go back and finish it. This also has a permadeath thing, so yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that one. Yeah, some of the games in my backlog has permadeath, so that's the reason I'm saying I'll see how I feel about doing any new games that has permadeath, like after I get done with these games I have in my backlog. Trackmania Turbo. This one is a pretty difficult one that I'm gonna have to go back to at some point. 99 Vidas. I'm not entirely sure what kind of game this is. I think it's a beat 'em up, but I'm not entirely sure. Hustle Kings. It's a pool game. This one is the same thing with Prominence Poker. This one I might want to look more into, see what it's like before going back to it. Bloodborne, as I established before with the Astrobot Challenge and the Souls games, I will have to play this one at some point if I want to do that challenge, so... Roller Coaster Dreams. Yeah, as you can see, the details for it is not that great. Bombing Busters. I really don't know what kind of game this is. Might have to look more into it. PlayStation VR. Gonna have to go back to that one at some point. I think this is relatively easy to do. I'm not too sure about the DLC. DLC might be another one of those things like the regular Playroom game. Rime. Rime is definitely a game I want to play at some point. I've been wanting to play this one for a bit. So definitely want to play at some point. Darksiders 2. I have to get back to Brawlhalla. I have to get back to this one. Looks a bit questionable because it's an online game and it's like a Smash Bros kind of game, so yeah. Strike Vector EX, this one I want to get back to as some point as well. I want to get the multiplayer done. I was gonna get that done with somebody at some point when they decide to get to it, so. Smite, this one I'm probably not gonna do. I believe this is a pretty difficult and challenging or a pretty grindy game. And we have this War of Mine, the little ones. I'm gonna have to go back to at some point. And yeah, with that is all of my games. I was expecting this to be a long video. Wasn't really expecting it to take this long to cover the digital games. I mean, I have over 300, so yeah, that doesn't include all the physical games I covered, so. And I haven't even covered like all of the games in my wish list that I thought about purchasing and maybe playing, but that's not really that important to cover. It's just a rough idea if I want to play those games or not. Some of them I do want to play, like Marvel's Wolverine, maybe. That new John Wick game that got announced, what is it, during one of the State of Plays or something like that, so. And with that, you guys, that is the end of the video. If you liked the video, press the like button. Let me know what you think of some of these games that I should potentially look more into and potentially play them. And as always, I hope you all have an awesome rest of your night or day, depending where you're at. And I will see you all later. Bye, everybody. The Pig Mafia is signing off.